What's happening, my beautiful people? My name is Mike LaBelle, and today we're going to discuss the squad that I got verified with, and we're going to cover tactics, formations that I change into, each individual player. And I don't believe, and I mean this, that my squad is unattainable. It's not one of those full icon teams. Is it gonna be super cheap? No. But if you're investing coins, or you're doing a good job trading, maybe you invested some money in FIFA points, maybe you got some good pack luck, without a doubt it's a team that you could aim for. And as we see the market jump up or fall apart, just depending on time period of the year, that also makes it a little bit easier. I mean, we do have Black Friday coming up relatively soon. If this is a video that you've requested, because this does come up as almost a constant question when I'm streaming, whether it's on Facebook or whether it's on Twitch, everyone in the chat, show me your tactics, show me your instructions, tell me about your team, who do you like, who's not necessarily as impressive as you thought he was gonna be. Please drop a thumbs up, show some support on the content. If you're brand new, it is always free to subscribe, turn on notifications. We don't know what the hell's going on with YouTube. At the end of the day, it's the only way that you can guarantee that my content's gonna pop up in terms of your newsfeed or when something does go live. And in the comments, I want you guys to do two things. Number one, I want to know what type of team you're using right now. Give me your starting 11. If you got a foothead link, provide that link or list it out. And then number two, what changes should I make to this squad ASAP? Bam! Not Margera, but this is the squad that I use when I go into the majority of matches. What I start with, and we're in the classic 4-2-3-1, which is a formation that I just feel has great balance. And if you have the right players, you understand the attacking methods, how to open up space, and you're also being patient, you're gonna like the 4-2-3-1. And it also allows me to gauge my opposition without being too aggressive or too defensive. It does seem to give me that intel that is necessary if I want to have consistent results, or I can make adjustments on the fly, because that's one of the beautiful features about FIFA 19, and basically being able to adapt to your opponent without telling them that you're adapting. This formation gives me that insider info, which then in turn tells me, should I be more aggressive? Do I need more help with wings? Do I need to maybe make this more of a narrow game? Do I think I can overwhelm my opponent? Am I being overwhelmed? And all of the above. It's all encompassing, and that's why I like starting in the 4-2-3-1. A lot of you keep asking me about tactics. I don't do anything crazy with the 4-2-3-1. Very balanced. In fact, I would say as you get more aggressive with some of your tactical adjustments, yes, you're going to notice that you've got this additional pressure or that your line's a little bit higher. But as I've messed with tactics this year, it made the game almost more unpredictable at times, because I couldn't tell if my team was going to be on the same page with me or not. And that's why I preferred more of the balanced and not doing too much in terms of adjustments with pressure or width, unless I'm using a different formation and I'm making that as a swap. So I want to see a more narrow formation or a wider formation or a more aggressive or more defensive. You with me? With instructions in the 4-2-3-1, pretty standard if you've followed my videos throughout the years. We've got the left back, the right back, stay back while attacking. That's a staple in the FIFA world. Both the holding mids, please stay back. Also cover the center, which is new to FIFA 19. I'm not sure how effective that actually is in terms of your players being on the same page, but that's what I'm using, because the majority of goals that I concede are still going to be down the middle of the pitch. I will say crossing is better. Sometimes set pieces can be kind of suspect, and the reason I bring that up is because if someone's using the wings really well, they're able to draw throw-ins, corner kicks. Sometimes even your goal kicks can be kind of dodgy, and you can't get the ball out of your defensive half, and it can be a frustrating scenario. Why did EA change the goal kicks? That was not where the community was providing feedback. In any of the previous installments, we weren't saying, oh, goal kicks, they're terrible, we need to fix those. I would have loved to be a fly in the room while they were discussing some of these gameplay adjustments, and the goal kick fiasco came up where let's give them this view, and we're gonna make it harder to pass it to this guy, and I just don't think that's the move. My opinion, of course. I'm yet to hear anyone say goal kicks in FIFA 19 were better than 18 or 17 or 16 and so forth and so on. All three of my center attacking midfielders are on stay forward because I want them to be relevant in the attack, and I need them to look to push forward so I can create consistent counters and I can still be aggressive on the offensive end. If they're sitting back, that doesn't help me, that really hurts me because I'm going to be stagnant. When you're playing the 4-2-3-1, I would say that could be a potential con, or a negative is that your attack can start to look predictable. So you need these guys to be as dynamic and forward-thinking as possible. I gotta have progressive players. And then up top, we've got Money Messi, who's just been killing it. I still think his best position is probably as a center attacking mid. I just don't have a better striker at the moment, and I've got him in behind and staying forward. He's making all the right runs, and he just finishes as he wants. You can pick any type of finish, whether you're going for a chip, a low driven, a finesse shot, time finish, power, you name it, Messi is capable. I score a large variety of different types of goals with Messi on both of his feet, and it just gives you the ability to be creative while you're going forward, and it makes it hard for your opposition to figure out what's coming up next. And this is the best Messi we've seen in any FIFA installment, especially at his base card. I know you guys want to know what other formations am I using and why. I keep the 4-1-2-1-2 on deck. I don't really adjust anything with tactics in terms of the whole balance situation I've got going. I'm not going to make this super aggressive or super defensive. I just want to provide a different look. A little more narrow, but it does have the two strikers, and you can open up a lot of angles for finesse shots. You can get in behind. If you feel that your opponent's not going to do well versus maybe through balls, you might be able to overwhelm them. You can apply more in-your-face pressure, at least if your opponent is trying to go down the middle. I do feel that the 4-1-2-1-2 speeds up the gameplay both offensively and defensively, as long as you're not going up against someone who's in a 4-3-3 or maybe even a 4-2-3-1 and is looking to just hold possession. That's where you might have a bit of a kryptonite, a bit of a weakness if you're not winning the game. If you're chasing a match and you're not able to properly produce pressure because your opponent is just holding it down the sidelines, that's not going to be a good look. I typically use the 4-1-2-1-2 in a game that I'm drawing, a game that I'm winning, sometimes even if I'm down a goal, but it's not necessarily a chase formation for me. I'm more focused on shifting the pace or just making an adjustment. I want to mix things up. In terms of instructions, your fullbacks are still staying back, you're holding mid, he's sitting back, he's relaxing. Ideally, you want to have someone with some size in that position. We're still covering the center. I don't mess with the other two center mids. I got my cam at stay forward, which is also going to be a bit of a staple for me. If I've got a center attacking midfielder, I want him involved in the attack. Up top with the strikers, get him behind, press the back line, all that good material. If you have someone who's super slow, that's maybe more of a target man, you could let off on potentially getting him behind. You still want him on the last man, but Mandzukic isn't going to offer you a ton of speed or value trying to get in behind your opponent unless you do have the Halloween edition. He's got enough pace to cause some issues or to cause some problems. Next formation that I use frequently is the 4-2-2-2, and it looks like a 4-2-4. This is my pressing formation, as you can see with the tactics, much different than when I'm playing the 4-1-2-1-2 or the 4-2-3-1. We're going forward. I'm in your face. I'm in your grill. I need goals right now. I want to change the flow of this game, and I don't want to gradually shift the flow. I'm going all in when I switch to this 4-2-2-2, and I prefer it to a 4-2-4 or even a 4-4-2. I just feel like it gives me a little bit more natural overlapping runs and better defensive pressure without me feeling as exposed. But at the same time, there will be space in behind because you are just pushing bodies forward on forward on forward. We've covered the formations, we've covered the tactics, the instructions, all the above, giving you a little more of my headspace. Now let's talk about my squad, and I'm going to go through each individual player and what they offer you, what you can expect, where you're going to be happy, maybe where you're going to be disappointed, and what types of improvements I'd like to make, or players that would be good signings in some of these positions that maybe I haven't made that upgrade just yet. We're going to get started with the goalkeeper, and then we're moving to the defense. I've been using Courtois. It makes sense for my squad. It links very easily with a Varane and a Sergio Ramos, and with goalkeepers in particular, extremely subjective, and it's all about building consistency over many matches, because goalkeepers, especially in FIFA 19, they're all going to have good and bad games, and they're all going to make some suspect decisions. They're going to make some mistakes. They're going to parry something that they should probably catch. So it is a matter of how many good games do you get, or what level do they always stay at? What's the standard? Can I count on this goalkeeper? So I would say the guys you're looking at this year, Neuer, going to be hard to fit into a team unless you have icon center backs. You've got DDG, you've got Courtois, and then I'd like to bring up Van der Sar. The concern comes down to price points. How much do you want to pay for a goalkeeper? And are you going to get a return of your investment? Just to reiterate, I know how opinionated this position is. There's going to be people that say, Mike, I love Hugo Lloris. I'm into using Buffon. He's been brilliant for me. Or maybe Oblak or Navas, and it does get debatable, and it's also relevant to take into consideration how are you going to link these guys into your squad builders. Now, if you have those icon center backs, it doesn't really matter. You can pick and choose whatever goalkeeper you like. However, if you don't, you have to measure the value of the goalkeeper with whatever that center back partnership looks like. Let's evaluate the defense. And right now I'm using Marcelo, Varane, Ramos, and Valencia. And we're going to start on the left side. We'll start with Marcelo. I've used Alba. Did not like Jordi at all in FIFA 19. I was kind of surprised because before that, I was using Hernandez, and Hernandez, in my opinion, much better than Alba. I don't know if it's a size issue, positioning situation. I just didn't like him. And instead of Marcelo, if I wanted to make some changes, Sandro would probably be my next choice. If you have a Premier League side, I think you're looking at getting Mendy. But this left back position isn't built with too many killers. There's not that many options at the moment that are going to compete for that top tier positioning. With the center backs, Varane and Ramos has to be the best partnership between pace, athleticism, size, positioning, their ability to always recover. It's just good value. And with that being said, it's going to cost you a ton of coins. I'm fortunate that I picked both of them up when they were much cheaper compared to where they're at on the current market value. And I do think they will drop once you have the Black Friday sales and people just opening packs on packs and packs. And I'm sure that these guys will get packed many, many times, especially Varane because he's not quite as high rated. Other center backs that I've seen people using, you can talk about icons, Rio Ferdinand, Blanc, Desai, Maldini, to go with many others. The majority of icon center backs are going to perform at a very high standard. If you can't afford icons, Van Dijk is brilliant this year. Every time I go up against that guy, he just gets to everything. And we've talked about defending being so AI based in this year's installment, and Van Dijk is definitely one of those guys, man. He just covers you up. Whether you turn left, you turn right. I feel like I'm always being contained and I can't get through that brick wall. At the right back position, I'm using Valencia. This is an area that I could upgrade. I think Kyle Walker's probably better than Valencia, even though I will say Valencia's defending, not an issue. He's very physical. But on the attacking side, his passing is not that great. His touches, they're kind of dodgy, especially if you're using someone such as Marcelo on the reverse end or on the opposite side of the pitch. There's no comparison between how Marcelo attacks and how comfortable he is on the ball versus how awkward and not agile someone like Valencia is, just to give you a compare and contrast. I wouldn't mind giving that Inform DeMarcos card a run through. I've seen a lot of people using Juan Fran. He had that SBC card. I definitely think that's a good look. Of course, Kyle Walker in the Premier League would probably be your first choice option, or at least another option. You guys can let me know what you think. Right now, Valencia makes sense for chemistry, and he is solid. He is good, but not what we've seen in past installments where you would say, oh, best right back. I don't think he's competing for that spot this year. In the midfield, we're going to start with the holding mids. I'm using Kondogbia, and I'm using Modric. And a great friend of mine once said many years ago that you need a gladiator, you need a maestro. And that pairing with holding mids is important. So a big guy and a small guy. And that's what I've got going on with Kondogbia and then Modric. Obviously, Modric, much better on the ball, much more agile, can create space, can shoot from long distances. Kondogbia, he's going to sit right on top of the defense. He also has 4-star skill moves, which is kind of a bonus if you're good with some of the skills. And I just feel like his touches are a little bit cleaner due to having those 4-star skill moves. Kondogbia is also left-footed. Modric is right-footed. That's relevant for certain passing angles and even setting up some of your shots, whether it's a finesse shot or going for a power shot. Your center attacking midfielder is going to bring together your squad. And I love Paul Pogba this year. I think he's special to have all that size and physical attributes and then have the 5-star skill moves. He can hit a finesse shot with both feet. And something that people don't always bring up that I personally notice every single match, he has high-low work rates and he just kind of leaks into the play a little bit late. And the reason that's so valuable in a 4-2-3-1, I find a lot of space on the wings when I'm hitting Gareth Bale, I'm hitting Nedved, but I'm not just going to run that wing. I need to cut it back. I need someone to drop the ball off to. Messi's usually too high up the pitch, so I'm counting on Pogba starting to leak into the attack, and he does this wonderfully. He's involved in so many plays in terms of passing, drawing penalty kicks, shooting from outside the box, finding the right player at the right time. I can't stress this enough, but timing is key, and Pogba is as good as an icon. He's one of those gold players that'll be at that same standard throughout the year. On the wings, we've got Nedved, we've got Gareth Bale, and I talked about balance earlier, and I want to bring that up again, because I feel that both of these players just offer different experiences on the wings. When you have a power player like a Gareth Bale who's explosive, he's fast, he leaks in from the back post, and he relies on his athleticism. And I'm not saying that Nedved is not athletic, but he's a little more technical, a little more skill-based, and he's equal-footed with the 5-star weak foot, which is very different than your experience with Gareth Bale. He's not going to climb and win a lot of headers, but at the same time, from the back post, if you're able to hit his feet in any way, or if he's able to unleash a bicycle kick, a scissors, a volley, it's going to be in the back of the net. He's got the 4-star skills, and his touches are clean, they're crisp, they're precise, and his shooting from outside the box, never a letdown. I really enjoy both of these players, and I appreciate them. And also, it's worth mentioning that Nedved's passing, if you can afford bringing Nedved into your starting 11, you will not be disappointed. Even with all the superlatives I've listed regarding Nedved and Gareth Bale, I would still say both of these guys are players that I'll look to upgrade. There's just so many icons, so many wingers that have these stats that just jump off the page at you. So if you can afford the upgrades, you want to make them. And as you improve your attack, you instantly get a bonus. You're going to score more goals, set up more opportunities. You get additional creativity. They're able to play a little bit faster. It's noticeable. I know everybody says, Mike, is FIFA pay to win? It's always going to be relevant. And up top, we've got the man of the year, Messi, who just does everything you could ask. I know he's not cheap. Messi is so good in FIFA 19, he feels one of a kind in many instances in terms of some of the goals that you can create, his touches, his turns, ability to almost find or create space in a game where that's so difficult. I mean, the AI blocks everything. They close down angles, and you end up just trying to find anything or hoping to get a lucky bounce. I do believe Messi's best position would still be as a center attacking midfielder, but he's not going to let you down as a striker. And if you were playing with 2 strikers, that still works. If you had to put Messi out on the wing, that wouldn't be a liability, but I do think that you'd start to lose some of his value. He should be in the center area of the pitch, floating around, finding the right person, turning the opposition, killing defenders, being Messi. That's been the video. I know this is long, but it does have a lot of information, a lot of detail. I hope that it answered many of your questions regarding team building, mindset, and then also tactics, instructions, how to build up that consistency in this year's installment. I'll have a lot more content come for you ASAP. Please, it's free to subscribe. Let me know what's going down in the comments.